So, welcome to another Thursday on the Pagan Perspective. I hope everybody who celebrates had a great Thanksgiving. And today it is snowing here, so I'm having a kind of cuddly day, I guess. I don't think you guys can actually see the snow, which it's sunny and snowing at the same time. Pretty cool. Anyways, I'll get to the topic. This week it's posted below, but go ahead and read it for you. And it is thoughts on pre-made spells / rituals versus self-created. Are they more powerful or less powerful than the other? I personally am not creative enough to make my own and was considering using others, but didn't know if there is a difference of energy and strength. Okay, so this is a pretty common answer, I think, for a lot of these topics on the Pagan Perspective for me. I think it really depends on the individual person. So first off, my idea of what a spell or ritual, I tend to think of it as a means by which we communicate with ourselves. That as humans we have a lot more to us than just this thinking part that organizes things and puts it in words, this very analytical, cerebral part of us. I think that there's also part of us that is a deeper, more primal, more emotional, symbolic thinking that doesn't use words and thoughts the same way our, I guess you could call it conscious mind. There's a lot of different frameworks for looking at this, that, if you take a class in psychology, you'll learn about a lot of these different frameworks. I don't completely buy any of them in their entirety, but I think they're useful. Anyways, I think that when we're doing ritual, we're speaking to that other part of ourselves that we don't normally speak to with our words. So whatever one is doing in the ritual needs to be meaningful in the way that they're intending to that part of them. And I think that's going to depend a lot on the individual. What is meaningful to me, what is going to communicate a certain thing to me, is going to be different than to you. Now, it might be more similar between us than it would be between somebody living 2,000 years ago on a small Polynesian island. They might have a very different relationship with symbols and reality than we do today. But it's going to be different for everybody. So I don't think that one is necessarily, going back to pre-created or self-created, one is more powerful or less powerful in general. I think it depends on the person. For me, I love to think everything through. I like to understand it, I'm in my head a lot. And for me, understanding it gives it power. For some people, having that mystery there gives it more power. So it depends on the person. If I like to understand exactly what the symbols are, where they come from, all of that, but somebody else, just knowing that it makes them feel that way is what's important. So it depends on the person. I think it also depends on where they are in their life, what's going on in other situations, if this practice is new for them, if they aren't really experienced yet in doing conscious ritual. I think we do rituals throughout all of our lives, but ritual or spell, I think spell work is conscious ritual. Using pre-created might help to become more comfortable, might help the mind and yourself to relax into this new way of communicating with itself. And again, not everybody, but many people have different views on what spell ritual is. That's my view. It's intentionally communicating with oneself. And I suspect that there's a lot more going on than just with ourselves, but just a suspicion there. Going into the viewer mentioned that they didn't think that they were creative enough to make their own. And I don't know who you are, so I can't tell anybody what they are or not, except for myself, what I am. And then I'm not always honest with myself. I try and be, but I think it's very difficult for us to sometimes. Anyways, I think my advice would be, don't sell yourself short. Just because you're not practiced at it now doesn't mean you won't be in the future. It's like a skill. We have to put points into our skills. And with time, if it's something that you would like to develop, I think that you probably could. Whether you want to or not, that's another question. There's a lot of spells, pre-written spells out there that for almost any occasion. So yeah, I think that basically it depends on the individual, and that it isn't one type isn't more or less inherently powerful or strong. Just depends on the person who is experiencing it and doing it at the time. So hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Let us know what you think below, and take care.